Hello everyone, I am Durga Saujanya, Assistant Professor from Department of ECE, MLR Institute of Technology. I am going to give the video lectures for the subject Embedded System Design. Our today's topic was semaphores. So this is in the fourth unit under the topic Shared Data Problems and Semaphores. So in the summary of previous session, we have discussed about the shared data problems. So what is meant by shared data problem and what are the reasons for causing the shared data problems and what are the issues occurred by the shared data problems and an example of shared data problem. So now we are going to discuss in this session about the solution for this shared data problem. So here we are going to discuss about what is meant by critical section, what are semaphores, what are types of semaphores, priority inversion and the differences between mutex and semaphores. Going to the today's session, the first one is critical section. So critical section refers to a segment of code that is executed by multiple concurrent threads or processes and which accesses shared resources. Here critical section is nothing but, so whatever we have already seen what is the shared data. Shared data is nothing but the same variable or same data is assigned for different processes. So here critical section is nothing but when the data is assigned to a particular process P1, so it will not be used by another processes. Only at that particular time, for that particular time, that data will be available for only process P1. So it will not be utilized by P2 and P3. So here this is process A. So here at this time T1, so it enters into the critical section. So that means it is going to access the data which is the shared data by process A. So at T2, process B enters into the critical section and hence it is going to the blocked state and it is waiting for releasing the data by the process A. So here at T3, process A completed its critical section. So critical section means whenever it is allocated with the data or resources which are used for that process, it is going to be executed. So after until the completion of execution, so it will not release its resources. So it will hold its resources. That is the critical section. So after completion of execution, the process will be terminated and it releases the resources. So at time T3, process A releases the critical section, leaves the critical section means it releases the resources. Now process B enters the critical section. So that means now the access for this shared data will be given to the process B. So now at T4, process B leaves the critical section. Here critical section refers to a segment of code that is executed by multiple threads which accesses the shared resources. These resources may include shared memory, files or other system resources, and this data will be accessed by only one thread or process at a time to avoid data inconsistency or race conditions. We have already discussed that when one data is used by the multiple processes at the same time, so no process will be completed its execution and no process will utilizing that data. So all processes will be in the running state only, but no one process will be going to be executed. So that is called as race condition. So now to avoid that race condition, we are going to use the critical section concept. So here in critical section concept, here it is to be executed as an atomic operation. That is, if one thread or process has entered into the critical section, all other threads and all other processes must wait until the execution thread or process exits the critical section. So whenever one process enters into the critical section, so it can have the access of all the resources. Therefore, all other process will be into the waiting state. So the purpose of synchronization mechanism to ensure that only one thread or one process can execute the critical section at a time. So here it is called as synchronization mechanism. So synchronization mechanism means when one process enters into the critical section, all other processes must be goes to the waiting state until the completion of the critical section handled by the first process. So the concept of critical section is central to the synchronization, as it is necessary to ensure that multiple threads or processes can execute concurrently without interfering with each other. So here, by using the shared data, so these two processes without having any interference, if they both are concurrently executed by using this synchronization concept only. So various synchronization mechanisms are there. So that means to move the process into the critical section. So here there are different types of synchronization mechanisms are there. One is semaphores, mutex and condition variables, which are used for implementing critical sections to ensure that the shared resources are utilized mutually exclusive manner. So next, the first one is semaphores. Semaphores is nothing but it is a value or a variable or data which can control the allocation of resource among different tasks in parallel programming environment. So that means here the semaphores is a variable or value. It may be, so there are different types of semaphores are there. So we can assign one value to the semaphore. So whenever that value is assigned to the semaphore, that process will be enters into the critical section and all the resources are allocated to that process and it moves all other processes to the waiting state. So here the semaphores are useful tool for prevention of race conditions and deadlocks. Here we can see the operation of semaphore by using an example. Here the consider a situation where two persons who wants to share a bike. So here the two persons are there. So we have only one bike and they want to share that bike. So at one time only one person can use the bike. So whenever this first person releases the bike, then only the second person can handle that bike. So here the one who has the bike key will get the chance to use it. When this person gives the keys to second person, then only the second person can use the bike. So here the semaphore is also like a key. So whenever any process which wants to go to the execution, so here whenever which process enters into the critical section, for that process the resources will be allocated by this semaphore. So the semaphore allocate resources to the process which are going to the critical section. So semaphore is like the key and bike is the shared resource. Here whenever a task wants access to the shared resource, it must acquire the semaphore first and the task should release the semaphore after completed use of shared resource. So whenever it is assigned to one task, so after completion of that task, the semaphore will release the resources from that process and it can allocate resources to another process. Till that time all other tasks have to be in the wait state only. So there are different types of semaphores are there. One is binary semaphore, another one is counting semaphore and mutex. Binary semaphore. Binary semaphore means it is having only two states 0 and 1. So it is used for implementing the mutual exclusion. So it ensures that only one process can access the shared resource at any given time. So if the value is 1, so then it indicates that the resources are available. And whenever any process enters into the critical section and those are allocating with these resources, so then the semaphore is initialized with value 0, then it indicates that the resources are unavailable. So here whenever it is 0, it indicates that the resources are unavailable. So here whenever the initial value again goes to the 0, then it indicates that it releases the resources. then those resources are available for another processes. Here the binary semaphore can only have two states, 0 and 1. It is used for implementing the mutual exclusion by accessing the shared resource at any given time. A binary semaphore is a synchronization object that have only two states, 0 or 1. What is not taken, another one is taken. So not taken means resource is not allotted, resource is not available. Taken means resource is available. Take means taking a binary semaphore. So here when we are assigning the semaphore with take state, so it indicates that trying to take a semaphore that is already taken enters the invoking thread into the waiting queue. So when it is assigned with take, so that means it indicates that moves the process into the waiting queue. When release state, releasing the binary semaphore indicates that not taken state. So release state means when it is in the release state, so it indicates that the processes are available or not taken by any process. Second one is counting semaphore. Here the counting semaphore means the semaphore is initialized with a counter and it is incremented for each process for utilization of limited shared resources. Here if the initial count is greater than 0, it indicates that resources are available, and if initial count is 0, it indicates that the resources are unavailable. Whenever a resource is to be allocated, an attempt to take the semaphore is made and the counter is incremented, and we have to check the counter. If the count is below the specified limit, then only it will continue its process. Otherwise this allocation blocks the task or fails directly. So therefore when the resource is to be released, so now the counter will be decremented, and again we need to check the counter. If the counter is 0, it indicates that the resources are released and those are available for other processes. Here the OS function calls which are used for semaphore management, or for creating the semaphore we have the function create semaphore, and deleting that semaphore we have the function delete semaphore. Acquire a semaphore means making the resources available. Release a semaphore means releasing the resources to a process. Query a semaphore means here it should be in the waiting state, here it should be in the execution state, it is in the ready state, it is in the wait state. So these are the functions used by OS for semaphores. Next, third one is mutex. Mutex is nothing but it is same as the binary semaphore, but here it is used for implementing the mutual exclusion. Mutex means mutual exclusion. Here it is used for protecting the critical section. Here it is taken before the critical section and given right after. Here the difference between the mutex and binary semaphore is, so the binary semaphore changes its value depending on the resource allocation, but mutex changes its value depends on the critical section. So whenever any process enters into the critical section, then that mutex will be going to the taken state, and whenever it completed its critical section, it goes to the release state or not given state. Let's go. It is taken before the critical section and is given right after in the same task. The mutex typically stores the current task and boosts its scheduling priority to avoid the problem priority inversion. So to avoid the priority inversion problem, so the mutex stores the current task of the process, and it can use the scheduling algorithms for avoiding the priority inversion problems. Here the functions which are used by the OS for mutex is creating a mutex, deleting a mutex, acquiring a mutex, releases a mutex, query a mutex, and wait for the mutex. So next, Here we have already discussed that it is used for avoiding the priority inversion. So what is the priority inversion problem? Here if a high priority task is delayed by the lower priority task, it is known as priority inversion. So this may occur if high priority task needs to be take a mutex that is currently held by the lower priority task. So first we are executing one process which is having lower priority, and now we are entering into the process which is having higher priority 0. So when executing P1, so the mutex is taken by the P1, so when it enters into the critical section, and after completion of its critical section only it releases the mutex. But here in the execution process, when P2 enters into the OS and which is having the highest priority, so that the mutex will be utilized by this P2 only, but it is already, it is not in the not available state and it is used by the P1 process. Here the high priority task will be going to the waiting state until the mutex released by the low priority task. So this is known as priority inversion. Here, so in this example we have seen that this blocks the task H until the mutex is available. So therefore a mutex is typically held for a specified duration during the critical section only. So here first task L takes the lock of the mutex, and now it is going to be executed, and now whenever task H enters into the OS, so it is trying for taking the lock, and but the lock is already acquired by the task L. Here it will not be released. So after completion of its critical section, so at this time the task L is critical section completed. So now it releases the lock. Now the task 1 takes the mutex lock and it enters into the critical section, and after completion of it, again it gives the mutex to the task L. So now the differences between mutex and semaphores. Here mutex are used to serialize access to the section of entrant code, re-entrant code, and it cannot be executed concurrently by more than one thread. Here mutex will depend based on the critical section. So here whenever critical section enters, the mutex will be locked by that particular process. Here the semaphore can be used by any number of times by the process depending on the shared resource allocation. Up to the maximum number. Here the mutex object allows only one thread into the controlled section and forcing other threads into the waiting state. Here whatever the process in the critical section, it will allow only one thread. It will block or wait for another processes. But here it cannot block any process. Here whatever the signal given by any process, it will allocate the resources to that process. So these are the differences between mutex and semaphores. So in this session we have discussed the summary of the previous session, and in today's session we have discussed what is a critical section, what is meant by semaphores, what are the different types of semaphores, what is the problem of priority inversion, and what are the differences between the mutex and semaphores. So these are the topics covered in the present session. Thank you.